Hey, this is Jessica from The Mindful Mentor, where I teach math mindfully. Today, I'm starting a new YouTube series where I show demos of some of the awesome homeschool resources that are out there, so that way you don't have to try all of them yourself and you can kind of see what they're like and what to expect without having to try everyone on your own. Today, I'm starting with Touch, Type, Read, and Spell, which is an online program that teaches students how to touch type and also helps them practice their reading and spelling at the same time. I've already got a bunch more resources on my list that I'm going to make videos for, but if there's a certain resource that you are curious about that you'd like to see a demo of, let me know in the comments and let me know what questions you have about that resource so I'll make sure I cover all of your questions. Now let's take a look at Touch, Type, Read, and Spell and see what it's like. So when you first start with Touch, Type, Read, and Spell, they have a section where you can set up your profile and you can kind of tailor it to whatever your student needs. So some of the options you can say, like, what are you going to be using it for? Are you going to be using it for mostly typing or spelling? They even also have options for if you're using this with a student who has dyslexia also. So I'm just going to pick touch typing skills for my option. And then down here, they've also got other options. If there's anything that your student is dealing with that may affect their learning abilities, then you can click it down here and that will help them tailor the program more to your student. So once you have your profile set up, this is the main page for the administrator. So like as a parent, this is what you would see. And it shows all of the levels and all the modules that your student will be doing in the course. So for this, the Touch, Type, Read, and Spell main course, there's 24 levels and there's 31 modules in each level. And so on your end, as the parent, you can see what all the levels are and what each module is going to be. So like here's level 1 and all 31 of them. And when you look over here, it tells you what type of module each one is going to be. So one that has a T by it is a training module where it's teaching your students how to put their fingers in the right place. And then when it has this DICT that's highlighted here, that means dictation mode. And so this is going to be one where the words aren't written on the screen. They're just going to read it to them and then they have to type what is being read to them. And you can, if there's one that's in dictation mode and your student tries it and it's too hard for them to type what they're hearing, you can click it and turn off dictation mode in any ones that you want. And you can turn it on in sections where it isn't already turned on. And so it shows what each section is about, what letters they'll be working on, and if it's going to be practice or if they're going to be making words out of it, things like that. And they're also at the top of every level, there's a description of what that entire level is going to be about and what types of things they'll work on in that level. And on the parent end, you can see what every single level is going to be like when you click on one. So we'll start on level 1, which they tell you is going to be learning the vowel keys. So when you click on it as the parent, it shows you like what lines the students are going to use. The students won't see this when they are doing it in their profile, but on your end, this is for you to be able to see what they're going to be working on. And you can play the letters and the words beforehand if you want to. And then you can start the module yourself too, so that way you can see what it's like. Okay, so let's take a look at what the module actually looks like and sounds like and what kind of things your student will be seeing when they're working on their modules.
Starting with the left hand, place your index finger on the F key. Now, place your middle finger on the D key, your ring finger on the S key, and your little finger on the A key. Next, take your right hand and place your index finger on the J key. Place your middle finger on the K, your ring finger on the L, and your little finger on the semicolon key. Your hands are now in the starting position for touch typing. This is referred to as the home row. Note the F and J keys have small ridges on them. This is to help you position your hands on the keyboard without looking down. If you're unsure about your hand position, check that you can see the G and H keys between your index fingers. Now place your thumbs on the space bar. When you are ready, lift the little finger of your right hand, and without moving your other fingers from the home row, reach it over to press the Enter key. This will start the first module. Keep your hands on the home row and follow the hand guide at the bottom of your screen. If a red letter appears, press the backspace button and retype the correct letter. Start with the little finger on the A key and follow the on-screen hand guide. A, space, A, 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 A. Continue with the lines of E's, I's, O's, and U's, making sure only one finger at a time leaves the home row keys.
And each time you finish a module in any level, they show you your score here, and you can retake it more than once. So like if you get a score that you're not happy with and you want to come back and try it again later, then you can redo it to try and bring up your score. And then it kind of just shows you your statistics. See, so if you click here, this was your latest score that you got, and if you wanted to, you can retake it to try and get a higher score. And so this is what parents see on the admin side. And on the admin side, you're allowed to go to any module, any module you want within each lesson. So like after you finish lesson 1, you can preview what's going to happen in lesson 9 if you want to see what they're going to work on. As the parent, you can do that. But then if you go over here and switch user over to your student, then we'll see that on the student end, they're not allowed to just click on any lesson they want within any module. They have to go in order. Everything is locked until you've completed the one before it. So also on the admin side that you would see as a parent, when you go to the activity feed section, it's like the main dashboard. This is where you can see all the activity from all of your students. If you have more than one student in here, then you can select them all and see what all your students have been working on. And if you go over here to the students tab, then that will show you all of your students and all of their progress that they've made. It gives you kind of more information of like when they logged in, what modules and levels they did, what score they got. WPM is words per minute, how long they spent on it. And this way you can kind of use this to monitor your students' progress and see if they're really working on it when they said they were, and see how well they're doing. You can see, it will show you which ones they got good scores on, which ones maybe need some more attention. So that way you can know which ones to tell them to go back and work on if you'd like. And obviously level 1 starts out pretty basic with just like single letters and vowels and consonants and things like that. But on the parent end, like I said, you can go to any level you want. And so if we go down to later levels, we can see that it does start to get more and more, progressively more complex as you go on. So then it starts, they'll eventually obviously start typing words and sentences, and they've got practice with like the different types of letters and things to help with the spelling and reading aspects too, why it's called touch, type, read, and spell. And if you let's look at the very last level, level 24, that would be obviously the most complex option. They will be working on practicing names, Greek and Latin prefixes, much more complex and complicated things, because by then they've had a lot of practice with the touch typing. Another thing that's kind of cool is if you go up here to subjects, they can practice typing things about specific subjects. So that way it's not just these like random sentences that they're practicing. They have all kinds of different subjects that they can work on, where they will type out words and sentences that have to do with these different topics. And there's math, there's growth mindset, there's spelling, there's things about dyscalculia, dysgraphia, things like this. There's all kinds of different topics that they can do. You even have one about jokes and just a bunch of different topics, so that way they're not just typing random words. They can be practicing typing words and sentences that have to do with things that they will be typing about in the future. Hopefully that demo helped give you a good idea of what touch, type, read, and spell is like, and a good idea of if it would be a good fit for you and your student. And if there's any questions that I didn't address that you still have about the program, let me know in the comments below and I will get your questions answered as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see my future videos of other homeschool resources that I'm going to demonstrate for you. And like I said before, if there's any that you want me to do that you have a request for, let me know in the comments and I'll add them to my list.